Hey Aaron, I'm driving in rush hour traffic in downtown, and I am sure you envy me. Anyway, I'm going to do this. I'm going to listen to this as well before I send it to you to type out the decline stuff. But I just wanted to run some stuff by you too, just to get your input, because I do weird stuff because I train for different sports. But the basic thing with the decline is it is way, way steeper than a fixed decline that you would find in a commercial gym. And we also use a close grip. And the idea is, one of the things that we found, I know you're a triceps guy, and I get it, and I'm not necessarily opposed to it, but this is what we found, is that it was so easy, especially for the drug-free lifter, to overtrain the triceps using triceps isolation. And years ago, we would do tons of press downs, push downs, whatever you want to call them, the single reverse grip extensions, but we would do the skull crushers, nose break, basically a lying tricep extension with a easy curl bar. And I did okay with them, but most of the people that I trained with would end up with super sore elbows. Now, I realized that some of this could be that some of them were just simply going too heavy and probably doing a little bit of cheating and so forth. I understand all that. But what I can tell you is that when I finally, and I resisted the decline system initially myself, and would try to do it as an assistance movement after the flat bench. But when Bob was teaching it to me and when we were working on it, when I went all in, I dropped every bit of triceps isolation completely. And my bench press went up. And I would never call myself a great bencher, but you know, I've benched over 700 pounds in a shirt. I think I did 675 in a single ply that was actually some other guy's shirt in the gym. I just put it on just to see if I could do it. I never tried to do a full max like trained raw, because back then we always benched in a shirt. You know, everybody used gear. I think my best raw bench paused was 465, but years later, when I was at my strongest, say my mid-40s, my last warm-up many times would be 455 paused, and then I would put a shirt on. So you know, at one point I was probably close to a 500-pound raw bench, and I can attribute that to the decline. Now the rep scheme, what we did is we did 2 working sets of 6. These were touch and go, and the touch point is really low because again the angle is so steep, and what we're looking for is kind of a straight down motion to the touch point and a straight up motion. Learning to use the bench, create leverage with the bench, and make the triceps a primary mover with the close grip, but really learning how to engage the lats and the upper back. And I know I've talked to you about that, but I'm just trying to give you an overview, and so you have this information so you can help me quantify this. But we do 2 sets, working sets of 6. Now, even if it's easy, like you do, for example, you do 315 for 6, but you know you can do 8. You don't do more reps. The following set, we'll add 5, or if it's super easy, 10 reps. So say it's easy and they go to 325, but we never do more. 5 reps is acceptable, but we keep the weight the same. 4 reps completed means the weight is too heavy. The last set, the 3rd set, is we drop typically 20 pounds and we do 8 reps as a drop set. Then from there we move on to assistance. Now, one of the things I did when I got pretty strong at it, I got to the point where I was doing 575 for 6, and Bob had me, instead of continuing to go up, because he was worried about just the weight being so heavy that I would get injured. So we added a 3rd set of 6. But I eventually, at my strongest, when I benched 700 in the denim, just missed 700 at the top. And this was in a full meet. In training, in one of the new, it was new then, it was the new Titan shirt, not the F6, but I don't know what it's called. I don't even remember now. But I benched 755. And so I worked, just so you know the numbers, I worked up to where I did 585 for 3 sets of 6 and 565 for 8. And what we did is that after the lifters got fairly adept and used to because it's a really unusual groove, what we would do is, so the lifter would feel a little more weight in their hand, is we would every 3, maybe 4 weeks do a 6-3-3-8 day. And what that meant is we would do a set of 6 touch and go, and then 2 triples touch and go. Then we would drop 20 pounds from the original set of 6 to do our 8 rep drop set. You know, and that would be every 3 to 4 weeks, again, depending on the lifter. Sometimes it would be every 6 weeks, just, again, depending on the lifter. And that was the rotation. We would do 3 sets of 12 on a row movement, rear delts, hammer curls, traps, and then our ab work and be done. Now later on, Bob was not much on overhead pressing, but I have found if I don't overdo it with the overhead pressing, I did a 4-week rotation with it. I would do a push press for a single and a push press for a triple the following week, a strict press for a single, and a strict press for a triple. Now the idea is that we would establish a personal record, whether it be an all-time record or for that training cycle, and if everything was going well, we would pursue a PR. If for some reason we needed to wave it back, we would start maybe 20-25 pounds under that PR, and then we would wave up, you know, each week. And I did real well with that. You know, I got to the point where I would push press. I've push pressed 335. I know I strict pressed at one point in time 305. I'd have to dig all that shit up. But again, I'm just giving you an idea, and that was my secondary bench day. On my bench day, I would do a 3-week rotation. We would do the 6-6-8 without a shirt, but I did this raw as well. Then the second week I would do 3 sets of 3 paused, and again working off of a PR. Then the third week was 3 sets of 1, and they would be paused. My assistants would be, as soon as Mark Bell sent me a slingshot, we used those weekly. And we would do, on the 6-6-8 day, we would do pause singles. On the triples and the single days, we would do 2 sets of 6. When I benched my heaviest is when we used a bamboo bar. Now, I typically don't use the bamboo bar with people because it's so easy for people to really mess up, and not everyone has one, and they're pretty damn expensive. But just to tell you what I did, we would do 2 sets, and it would be 15 reps with the, you know, that you know, I never went heavy. We'd have like 40 pounds of kettlebells on each side. We would hold it for a 10 count, then we would do 10 more reps, and we'd do like a pinky on the ring grip, and we'd do 2 sets. And then I would do dumbbell work. Not every week, it would depend on, you know, if at that point how beat up I was. But we would do this rehab thing as a finisher. We would do 35 reps with 25-pound dumbbells, and then 2 sets of 25 with 50-pound dumbbells. And that would really pump a lot of blood into the pecs, into the delt tie-ins, and the triceps. And again, not doing any tricep work. And then the protocol for assistance would be the same. On my bench day, I would do a wide grip row. On my decline, a closer grip row. And then I would always do rear delts, always do hammer curls, and always do shrugs. And what I did with the shrugs on the 2 bench days is I would shrug it up, hold it for about a 2 count static hold. And I'll go into all the ins and outs and why in the auxiliary day that I do. And that's basically what I have done. Now the thing about the decline is if you have a knee injury, that decline can get really weird. And so that's why probably for about the past 6 months, well, probably the past year, because I've been doing so many other things, I would do the decline for conditioning for strongman. I'd do 2 sets of 15 with 405, and then I would go do whatever my implement was, log, axle, you know, whatever the case may be. And then I would do my press conditioning. And what I would do for that is I used the 25 kilo squat bar, a little bit bigger, meatier bar. At that point, you know, I was somewhat fatigued, and I would start with the 25 kilo bar, and I would do 12 reps, and then I would add 10 kilos each set. So I would do 25, 35, 45, 55, 65. And that's what I would do that for 12 reps and just really flush my shoulders. And then I would do assistance. So anyway, just kind of basic overview. See if that makes any sense to you. See if it creates any questions. I know Mark Bell would question me. He couldn't believe that as a master lifter that I did all that volume, but I really felt like the volume helped me. And I would go, you know, and again, that 6 rep range, heavy, even chasing a PR almost weekly, really, you know, really helped me. And honestly, everybody that's done it has had success with it. I don't think it was ever one of Jennifer's favorite things, but again, you know, she's a whole different animal. But everybody we have done work with has been successful with it. Now, it really made a huge difference with the geared lifters, you know, but I've had great success with raw lifters as well. That was the routine that Melissa Garrett used. She was the 3rd woman to bench 500 excuse me, in a shirt. I want to say in her last full meet, she squatted 7 and benched 535, if that tells you anything. So, and she, believe it or not, was a natural lifter. She was just as big as an NFL linebacker is all. So anyway, just to kind of give you an idea. So I know this is super long-winded, but I just kind of wanted to give you that overview. And I want to ramp up once I get done with bench nationals, I really don't have an agenda on anything other than I would like to do strongman nationals again next year. It's going to be in Columbus, so I can at least drive to it. And I think the events are going to suit me. So, you know, we'll kind of see. I am going to do some throwing and slowly get involved in the Highland Games thing. Where that will go, I'm not really sure, you know. But, you know, I never thought I'd own a bunch of strongman implements and win nationals either. So there you have it. So anyway, that's what I did when I benched over 700 pounds, and I did that as a master. So I'll be eager to hear your thoughts.